Are we live?
We live.
We in this?
Yes,
Alrighty,
sir.
guys. Jordan Patron. We is in here. Cast and Crew podcast. I'm here with my brethrens here. Take it away. Or is that too
All right,
much?
so,
No, you good, bro. Go ahead.
Excitement's in the air.
all right, you guys. It's the boy Devonte, Cliett, aka OliverWise, in the building.
Straight out the GA.
It's your boy Luck. Luck produced. Know how we get it. Cast and crew.
Let's go. The sound. Everybody knows me, right? Hey, that's what
Hey.
I'm just joking. Nah, but hey, welcome back. Episode 3. We're actually sitting down to talk about a couple of things. We want to do a recap of 2018. There's a lot of discussions that we had coming into 2019, and I think a lot of the guys wanted to sit down and just really dwell on that. So let's just go ahead and kick it off. Let's go. Top 5 albums. Is that what we're gonna start off with, boys?
Top 5 albums. Let's get it for 2018. We briefly discussed this priorly, and I'm sure that we could all agree. One of my top 5s is definitely the Black Panther TDE compilation album. I mean, that was just through and through. I mean, can y'all co-sign on that? Did everybody have that on theirs?
No, it wasn't on mine, but
Okay, I wasn't going in any particular order, but
I would say
Yeah.
that was my 6-man.
6-man.
Oh,
Okay,
first
6-man award.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was just so much diversity into that album for me. From the features that they put on it, I did not expect to hear Georgia Smith on that album. That was actually fire. Kendrick did a lot of different things on it. It was just all around great project for me through and through. You know, that's one thing that I look for in my top 5s of the year, if I could play it from start to finish. So I guess that'll be my number 5 there. If we want to go around and do 5s and then 4s and then 3s and 2s and 1s.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's get it.
So, yeah, that was my numero 5.
Oh.
Take it away, Oliver.
I really don't have a specific order in mind, but one of my top 5s was actually Victory Lap. I'm not sure if you guys have Victory Lap one of yours, but I really have a new respect for Nipsey Hussle. You know, I kind of followed him in the past, but not as closely. I had the privilege of actually seeing him live last year too, and he is very dope, a very dope artist. And Victory Lap definitely is one of the albums that I feel like, you know, was a contender in 2018. You know, I mean, you can't but respect. I mean, he dropped a lot of knowledge too in that album. You can take a real good listen to it. So one of my top 5 is Victory Lap and Nipsey Hussle, one of the greats.
Facts.
What you got, Look?
You know, came at a later time, you know, later through the year, but it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. Is that Meek Mill, the championship?
Oh yeah.
That's I'm pretty sure that's on everybody's.
It was on mine. It was on
That's
mine.
a cheat code.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fresh.
I
It's
had
too
to, I had
fresh.
to, I had to bust it out. You know, I had to bust it out. The up, down, left trigger, right trigger.
Ooh.
Yeah, that champion. You know, that's fire. I think Meek really, you know, touched on a lot of things right there. He came with that heat. He had some great features on there. You know, and he just let it, you know, all out on that tape. And I feel like that was dope. One of the dopest of 2018.
Yo, that What's Free record was sick.
But
That What's Free record was nasty.
My top 5, man. I think I'm gonna lean more with Devonte on this one, man. Mr. OliverWise. I don't really want to give like a number 5 because my list is just kind of up and down. But someone I'd like to throw on there was definitely KOD for me. Personally, that album meant a lot to me. Really got to see J. Cole live, actually perform the entire thing, and obviously some of the oldies. And he's just so about us, you know, the people, and I just really felt that album from beginning to end. I mean, everything from Lil Pump to the wave he created and how he impacted the culture with that album, and he got a lot of people talking. So I definitely thought that was definitely on my top 5. For sure.
That was a good one. He wasn't in my top 5, but that was a good album. You know, I respect, you know, J. Cole with the whole no features thing. You know, I mean, I respect that, you know, as an artist. But you know, I like features. I ain't gonna lie, I like features. I like to see like work with, you know, throw a singer on the hook. You know, I respect the hustle. I respect what he got going on.
yeah,
It's
You know, like
coming.
it would be
You're gonna see
nice
it
for
too.
him to,
nice.
you know, like throw a singer on there. Not saying to say another rapper, you know, so to speak, but you
Right.
know, those groove records, you know, throw a singer on there.
Most
But
definitely.
since I started talking, I'll get my other pick for the top 5, and you know, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people might not have it in their top 5. I'm pretty sure y'all don't. But Culture 2 for me was in there. It was torn between another
Respectful.
album that I'm not gonna name because it's not my top 5. But I was torn between this one and another album. But it ended up being how many songs I listened to more on each album, and Culture 2 had the win. I mean, you got CC, you got Autopilot, you got BBO, you got Too Much Jewelry, you got Crown the King, you got Superstar. I mean, the whole album is dope to me. I mean,
Boy got
like I
the
said,
list on his
I like
head.
a good feature.
Yeah.
So it's some heavy rotation for me. So I would say that another one's on my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
What you
and
got for us? Luck?
I know, just go back. I don't want to dwell too much on it, but the no features point. I try to make a point to that. It was like, damn, like Cole is gonna kill it each time, but you're like, damn, yo.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if I heard like somebody else on it, like he would kill this too, and it would just be a fire track.
and that's chiming in on that because I wanted to chime in on that too. Like
Right.
that definitely is the consensus there when it comes to Cole, because when we get those projects, they're so meaningful, they're so great, but when it gets down to the actual music and what we want to hear, it's like it's only J. Cole. It's produced by J. Cole. It's like really J. Cole's core sound every time he puts a project together.
Right.
But I just feel a different aggression from him when he gets on his feature bag.
It's
Like
funny
when he
'cause
starts working with other artists, it's like he gets into his competitive nature
Exactly.
rather than him just rapping on what's on his mind solo and all that stuff.
I saw something real funny. Somebody was like on Twitter, they're like, man, J. Cole just needs someone. He just needs to let somebody produce his album and just bring people in, man. Like, because like you guys said, man, a lot of people appreciate that, but they definitely want to see these features. And, I'm like torn in between, man. There's not that many people that could do that. So to actually see it, it's
True.
pretty big for me. Like, and not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can run with an album like that, go platinum, no featers, and
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive to me. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
who's
very,
next? Top four.
impressive.
Some of these can't even be compared next to each other. I want to just hurry up and get this one out the way. Astro World. I mean, that album just through another one through and through. I could just ride around listening to, no skips. I got a lot of feelings when I heard that album throughout a lot of parts of it. I mean, there was a lot of controversy going on through it. A lot of like, I don't know, the subliminal. For example, Stop Trying to Be God. I think everybody could try to point a finger on who he's talking to at that, if that's even directed to anybody. But that's a whole nother political side of it. Someone that always proclaimed himself as a god, Mr.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah,
That guy.
like, stop trying to be God. You're doing too much out here. Like, chill out. But that's just my hot take on that.
His own brother-in-law, Slick.
I mean, he sat there in the same song with Drake. You know what I'm talking about? Checks Over Stripes. That's nothing nice. Buster Wright. All that stuff was Drake. All that whole bar on Sicko Mode was all in my. I could paint every picture for it directed to Kanye. And it was.
I
definitely think, and I haven't seen Travis or Ye together in a minute. I don't even think he was in Wyoming.
Right.
But neither here nor there. Don't want to take away from how great the album was, because to me, that album was one of his, if not the best one that I've seen him put out. I mean, I loved Rodeo, but this one definitely takes the cake at the moment.
Well, I already gave my second one was already, I said Culture 2. So what you got for us, Luck?
Hey,
And
you know
actually,
what?
Astro was at my 3. So that's my third one.
That's one thing. Hey, I'm gonna go out of, I'm gonna crate dig for this one, because this is, a legend in the game, well respected, and I think we can all attest to it. That
Thank you.
it was good, and we waited for it for a long time, a lot of legal shit, but that Carter 5, that was a project that
That's my 6, man.
I felt
It didn't even cross my mind, to be honest.
Right?
Hey,
So much album now, bro. So many music.
There was a lot of fire in 18, but that Carter is just so much anticipation that was in that we were just waiting for, what's Wayne gonna do, and you could kind of tell a lot of they're kind of dated tracks, but it was still fire nonetheless. A lot of good features on there. stuff to ride to. You know, you got people. You know, but the fuck no, you know, it's still
Yeah,
bars.
Dope.
So.
Yes.
Dope
Right.
Ends was my song, yo. With the Snoop Dogg. That's my
Yeah.
ish there.
Right.
But
It's funny though, cause me and Omari, I remember we talked about this at work. I was like, you know, I'm really excited about this album because I feel like there's been a lot of records that just been vaulted away from a few years
Yeah.
ago, and sounds and things that we heard back then, you know, and this thing has been sitting there just boiling up, and it was just so nice to hear it and be like, bro, that sounds like something from like 2010, bro. Like, what do you mean? So that was so refreshing. I really enjoyed that album. For me, it was definitely my sixth man, for real.
That's one thing that I did notice because most people can't do that well. When music sounds dated,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, I don't want to hear that. I got that sound from something that I'm over, but
Yeah.
you got to give it to him because he's a lot of these kids' daddies now. But yeah, continuing on.
My third, all right, I'm gonna put in there Redemption by J Rock. I really like that album. I actually, you know, I kind of like swerved off to another lane. I didn't give it a chance, but towards the end of the year, I heard a few records. I saw him live. I went back and oh my God, is that album not a straight hip hop raw? Like the guy is super talented lyrically, all the beats, everything. You know what TDE is doing. You know, I'm hoping. You know, I'm a fan that Dreamville. You know, and that's another topic we can talk about later. But hopefully they're able to run off with that. But yeah, man, Redemption for sure. That was definitely number 3 on my list.
I have to say and once again, I'm no particular order here. Queen Nicki Minaj is not on the list, so.
You're funny. You're
That's
funny.
not on the list.
I was like,
I say, okay.
that's different.
We're gonna have to argue about
That's
that
another
one.
topic. Yeah, like, we'll have
Just
to
do
get
some sparkles in the pot.
If I say to each his own.
not on the list, okay? But I'm
I'm
gonna
out of here.
Head scratch.
Oh, I'm out of here.
But nah, I'm just gonna hurry up and get this one out the way because y'all all know this coming anyway. Scorpion. All right, this beautiful thing from A side to B side. I mean, I felt like he put too much energy a little bit, but it was still amazing raps though. Like so I honestly think that I play side B a lot more than I play side A. Like ironically, like that's weird because you know I love my R&B Drake, but I love my rap Drake. You know, that's my go-to. But in this case scenario, like I think just the longevity in the side B stuck with me a lot more because every time I listen to side A, I just keep thinking about him and Pusha and Kanye's beef. Because I just keep hearing these little subliminal. You know how Drake is; he's very meticulous with what he do. So, but nonetheless, man, just another well performance and delivery from him, especially after another adversity. You know, getting outed on somebody's beef track that I'm not going to promote on this podcast. So, but no, it was definitely a great effort off of a bounce back and a small speed bump in his career. So,
what's that saying? Is that everything in the dark must come to the light? It's bound to find out sometimes. So
that's true. Brother would have heard it from him instead of him being out on it.
You're gonna be like a couple of years later, you'll be like, you know, Drake's son graduates from fucking middle school. He'll be like, oh, what? Like, got a son?
What did that?
Yeah.
So yeah,
life, honestly.
Yeah. So you up next, D? Where you
actually,
at?
my top 5 have all been named. That's I had Culture 2, Championships, Victory Lap, Scorpion, and Astro World. So
Okay.
I guess we kind of all got something in common. I was surprised at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
Luis,
got something in common.
Omari, I think, right?
Oh, Omari, where you at with yours?
It's my turn. Hey, man. And like you said, no particular order, but hey, I'm going back to the old heads, you know, because they start, you know, it's a tough competition with these, you know, these young cats. Everybody want to hear that, you know, that quick fire. But something that we got to talking about earlier episodes was that Kamikaze. You know, that's something that came, you know,
and went.
It did.
Like most things, hey, but that sold the most physical copies this year.
Well, was about to get a bar for that one.
Hey, but it came and it was like
it came and it was
tough. You know, it shook things up.
Literally,
it's literally kamikaze. But Boom.
That's exactly what it was for.
It was good. It was good. It was good. I ran with
But
it. I listened to it.
That was just one.
When
of
you're
mine.
OG like that, though, he's an OG like you said. So it's like he can drop stuff like that, make millions of dollars, and be like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah, I mean, he has
Y'all
his
can have the rest of
hardcore
the year.
fan base that's never gonna leave him. So
Right.
True.
Y'all can have the rest of the
it's a
year, right?
big fan base. It is a huge fan base.
Yeah.
Then the whole Machine Gun Kelly out of nowhere too.
Ooh,
Talking about his daughter, like,
Oh no, let me tell you about
Right.
Machine Gun Kelly though, because I think that he
go
won
sit
that
down
beat.
somewhere.
We can get into this. We can get into this for a
Sit down
minute.
somewhere.
We can
You
get
know,
into
on
this
that
for a
track though, Machine
won
Gun
that
had
beat?
some man, I don't know.
Who won that beat?
Machine Gun was literally jammed up. You need to go sit down somewhere and get that thing fixed.
He said machine guy.
Machine guy.
He didn't
You
clean that.
disrespectful.
He didn't clean his
He
weapon.
clean his weapon
Disrespectful.
more often because he's just jammed up.
Jammed up.
Everything.
Oh
It's
damn! You
like,
calling? He's not even a semi. He's not even a semi-automatic. Okay.
So
That's crazy.
Number 2. I'm about to roll into this one. All right. And you know it's gonna be a little controversial, but I don't give up. My top 2, you know, when it really comes down to this hip hop shit,
Please don't say-
Daytona, man. Daytona. You know,
Okay.
put it on
No,
there.
I can-
Daytona.
listen.
You know,
Sorry, y'all. I'm not gonna give it a listen. I'm
Daytona.
not to.
What? Say what?
I didn't
You
listen.
haven't even listened. To
Listen,
it.
man, I'm gonna be real with you. Those who disagree, you know, as Drake fans, a lot of people, and I'm not talking about anybody particular here. I'm saying just in general, a lot of people,
Fair.
you know, when this whole thing happened, a lot of people try to put that aside and be like, that shit was trash. Listen, the beef was great.
Right.
The records was great. You know, I think we can all attest that both records were good. I just personally just liked Drake's, you know, record better. But at the end of the day, man, when it really comes to this hip hop shit, and that's what we're here for, Daytona was definitely top 5 albums of the year. It was an amazing body of work, great production, great bars for bars. Like the dude killed it, and it definitely brought him back up. You know, he was a little relevant for quite some time and then shut off. But it doesn't take away from the fact that he definitely had one of the best albums of the year.
I have
And
to
that's
give it a
my
listen.
number 2. All right, Jordan, I think you got number 1. What's your number 1? Unless you don't have anybody else.
What did I say? I said Drake. I said All Them Boys. I'm gonna have to, and I think I have 2 more left. Because I only counted 3. Compilation album. Drake album.
You said Astro World.
Astro World. And I still got 2 more left. And I'm actually getting to both of them right now because there's not really too much to talk about the other one except for with Luis. The Bad Bunny album, I have to put that in there because that is a hip hop album, and I don't care what nobody says. To me, that album it dropped on Christmas Day. Drake's on it as well. So it was just an amazing effort because most Hispanic artists that are like single artists can never actually muscle up together an album like that, and it was an amazing project. But the last one I got to give it to my most improved, Gucci Evil Genius, man.
That was really
Gucci
good.
Evil
Actually.
Genius.
It
Was a lot. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Gucci's Evil Genius album was like his bar game has stepped up, man. His pen has stepped up.
I really like Lost Your Mind with Quavo. That shit was nasty. That was a nasty record.
No, that was a good record. Good mention.
Gucci's really giving me longevity vibes, like with his whole
Gucci,
records
man.
and his producing. Like he's releasing singles. So he's like, what I like is he's releasing singles throughout the year, and then at the end of the year he's giving us an album. Like he's a 4th quarter guy. Like he'll give us new music this year that'll be on a new album we'll have end of this year. Probably. Right. He'll give us a tour and then another album end of this year. Like I like to see how artists like lay their stuff out. Like with J. Cole, he'll release the album out of nowhere. Have a song released and a month later the album come out. I see how artists release their stuff. Drake, he's like well orchestrated with his though.
Yes.
Right. And there's a difference between the kings like that, like the Coles and the Kendricks, and then the ones that are actually pushing the gen pop of the culture forward, like the Waynes and the Guccis. Like they're creating and paving the way of these sounds. Sorry, Soulja Boy, not you. They're creating and paving
because it's like hood. Because it's like
no.
Like,
I'm not saying it's not that it's hood rap. It's just the general consensus of it all. A lot of these rappers either sound like Gucci Mane or Lil Wayne. Am I wrong? I mean, you can't say the majority of the rappers sound like J. Cole or Kendrick because that's just a different talent. It's just a completely different talent. I'm talking about gen pop. I'm talking about the Lil Babies, the Gunners, and all that stuff. Lil Wayne
that's Soulja.
Huh? That's
That's Big Draco.
Big Draco.
That's Big Draco. I
Hey,
mean,
and
Draco.
here we're gonna take a
Gonna
quick
say-
commercial break because Omari's laptop
bro.
is about to die, so he needs to charge it real quick.
Nah.
I'm
Oh
serious.
my God.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Omari, take it
Charged
away
up.
with your top one
charged up.
or your number one.
what's your
album,
last
or
top
what?
two, man? Or last?
All right. So my last top two, I had Daytona in there.
Okay.
But my last one, and it's coming from a young cat that I really respect, and that 21, man, late, right at the end of the year, but that had fire on it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That first,
Respect
I'm not even
that.
gonna
that
argue.
first track,
I'm not even gonna
that
argue.
first track with J. Cole on there.
Yes, sir. He had a
absolute
lot of
fire.
records, man.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
I would even go as
I
far
could
as
listen to it in entirety, so
that Metro
that's how I
Boomin
know it's good.
album too. That's all 21, bro.
Mhm.
Literally, he was the man steering that entire album, and I would
Right.
consider that shit another project of his. Like literally, that was all him. Like yeah, he had Travis, he had other people, but that album was all his. So I agree, dude. That 21, he had a good year. He had a good
You
year.
know,
Yeah, he
Who
did.
you got for us, Luis?
Number one, Scorpion. Let's get it. Me personally, man, I was in Hawaii. I was getting married to my beautiful wife, and that album had just came out, so I was writing that thing, stupid. I did wait a little bit, obviously. When
That
it came
album
out,
came out June 25th.
homie.
Right.
I know, but I didn't listen to it till like the almost at the
So
end.
you
of the
said
November.
just came out. Let's
Good
get
date,
it right
good
now. You
date,
said
Greg.
just
When
came
I
out.
listened, when I
Said
started
just came
listening to
out.
it,
he was waiting
When
on it. It was
a
letting it
month,
marinate.
nigga.
Sitting on it.
Hey.
He was sitting on it.
Like
A month.
He was like, I don't want to be like
Oh,
everybody else and listen to it
Lord.
first come out.
fine
I want
wine.
to be different.
Like fine wine.
No.
I want to let
He
it
was
sit.
driving. He was
Like it's
put
gonna
on.
change lyrics. Like it's gonna change
Nah,
lyrics
man, 'cause
over a month.
Listen. When it comes to this music shit, and when it comes to Drake, I feel like a lot of times, Jordan, we get way too hyped, and we don't get to like you know what I'm saying, soak stuff in. So it's like being a fan of movies, or you got to put your fan shit to the side and just approach it how it is.
Unbiased.
Unbiased. The best way I can explain is when this whole Drake and freaking Pusha T thing happened. Like you can't tell me, look at this guy. You can't tell me as a fan of hip hop, you can't tell me they weren't going at it. You can't tell me that Pusha T didn't drop. That was a good record. Like he talked about a lot
I
of
thought we were
shit.
talking about he
You know what I'm
waited a
saying?
month to listen to the album. He just
I
tried to change the
know,
subject
but
so
what-
smoothly.
No.
But I caught that.
What I was trying to tell you was that's how I like to put things aside. I was trying to like soak in the album, but without all the hype that everybody like, yo, go listen to this. Oh man, let me listen to it for what it is, not for what you think it is. Because
Right.
sometimes
Let you take
I
your
feel
Drake
like,
hat off and listen to it with the clear head.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it worked. So come
And
on,
it worked.
Mr. Oliver.
Facts.
Wise.
I guess. I feel like that could
Hey.
have been 2 fire albums, but that's neither here nor there.
I feel like he could
that
do like
should've been
a.
surprise
He could have
release.
dropped side A and then side B later in the year, and then the crowd would have went crazy.
Well, you know what? He even could have mixed them up. He could have mixed them up.
He could have mixed
coulda
and
had
mingled.
two
It could have
completely different albums that would
Exactly.
have both went platinum.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
He could
would've.
have took some songs from B and slid it over here. Same thing, vice versa.
And coming from a production side, and me and Sound talked about this when it came out. It's like, this is not to discredit anybody's work, but that the production quality of it, sound wise,
It's great.
engineering wise, was, a little,
Now let me tell you about this CD.
little.
a little off.
A little off.
Let me
There's
tell
some.
you about this.
Hey, and listen, OVO, please do not come for me. There was there was a little mixing and a little mastering issues
Just a
there
little.
with
just
some
a
of the
little.
records that just sounded a little like.
I heard it.
It was weird.
I heard
it. Was weird. It was weird. It was.
But I'm
weird.
going to tell you one thing, and I'm not trying to defend it. I'm not trying to defend it. Playing it off my phone, whether it's Bluetooth or aux, into the car, it does not sound as good as when I bought the CD on that CD quality.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for
about the
sure.
CD.
So I
quality,
will
yeah.
let you know that. That's all I'm going to
It was
say.
different.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
Can I
different.
say that
Yeah,
40
say
could have
that.
done better?
Mm.
Absolutely. That wasn't
know.
40's best work. I will say
my
that.
my favorite record off that album, Emotionless. Ooh, that's it. All the shit. Yeah, he's so real. So real.
Yeah.
And someone said that was Sade. Someone told me that was Sade. Somebody in this podcast told me it was Sade, but whatever.
Who said that?
That was Mariah Carey.
But it was Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah, that sample.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sample.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
we was in
Mariah.
the car and you said Sade. Let's just put that on there.
Ooh,
Let's just
It'd be like that sometimes.
speaking of which, segueing onto the side, how do y'all feel about how many samples they use? Like
A lot.
40 loves to. Well, we know it's a lot, but do you think that it's too much?
don't
Because it
care.
feels like every day I see something about one of Drake's albums, and they call the sample that's used on every track for like the last 3 albums.
And it's
That's
not
the
too
thing.
much sampling because I think sampling is coming from a different place of production because you're taking the old with the new, or even some with the new, and it's almost like 2 songs because it brings back you remembering that old song, that track. You're like, man, that's fire how they put that together. So I overuse of sampling I don't think is really, because samples are fire regardless.
Yeah, no, I think that there can be overuse of sampling, but in this case scenario with 40, he just does it too well. So, I mean, you can't get enough of something that you love.
You got to know your craft and do it well.
Exactly. Stay in your
All right,
lane.
boys. Let's move on to top 5 artists, right? We want to talk about that? Top 5 artists. And it's just going to be a quick. So each person just give me your 5 real quick. We all know why you chose them. I don't think we have to really discuss it. So go ahead and someone kick it off.
Top 5 of all time?
No, top 5 artists.
I was
last
like,
year.
damn, we're going to be here all
last year.
night
No, that's easy. Come on.
because I'm
Anyways, top 5.
rebuttaling.
Top 5 artists
All right.
last year.
Should I knock it out?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So I got number 1, of course, the king, Drizzy. Number 2, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Travis. Travis really showed out all year on features and everything. Trying to keep this short for my man Luis. Number 3, I'm definitely. All right, you got me, Luis. Number 3, I'm definitely I'm gonna let Push have it. I'm gonna let Push have it. Let me take my Drake stand
Not
hat
Soulja
off
Boy?
real quick.
Not Soulja Boy?
Soldier.
Hey, he the reason why they all here. Don't forget
Soulja
that.
Band? Like Omari,
Pay homage. Hey,
Devonte
pay homage.
McCollum? I know.
Young
Hey,
Draco.
Pay
Young
homage.
you got?
Draco.
What else you got, Jordan?
So 4, I'm definitely gonna go Offset because Offset did his thing all year. And 5, man, I'm gonna give it to the new queen of the game, Cardi.
Cardi.
Love it.
Yeah.
Devonte, Mr. Oliver Wise.
All right. Let's see. Okay, for me, I'm gonna throw y'all off. I got Ella May. I also have the
Okay.
Carters.
Okay.
I also have Drake.
Okay.
I also have Travis is in there,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with Sway Lee.
Ooh.
That's a nice little curveball you threw me, buddy.
I feel like Sway Lee did his thing.
He did all year.
Mm.
All the features was
Mr.
fine.
Luck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta take one of those. I have a 6-man in there because he's going unnoticed. Young Thug did his thing last year.
Thugger.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Thugger.
Did his thing.
Thugger,
He did his
Thugger.
thing.
Yeah.
He did. All
You
right.
could just take LMA off there because she ain't a rapper.
No.
I
I
she an
thought-
artist.
I
though.
didn't-
She an
Are we
artist.
doing only rap? I thought
Did we say artist
what
or
about-
rap?
Yeah, he said top 5
Okay.
artists.
Anybody,
enough,
artist.
enough.
It
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
matter
Fair
who
enough.
it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
so my top 5, range. I'm gonna go Meat. I'm gonna go, Savage. I already said Savage did his thing out there.
21.
21. Rock, J Rock, and I got Nipsey, and finally I have the Cardi. I like Cardi, man. Cardi, she's
I
been
keep
on
forgetting
fire,
this.
man. But I do have a 6-man because everybody got a 6-man.
Really?
Gunna.
Get him.
Gunna. I'm gonna put Gunna
Ooh,
out there because
Gunna,
Gunna was on a
Gunna.
lot of projects and he made
Yes.
a lot of shit fire in the game, man.
Him
coming
and
out.
Lil Baby worked their ass off this
Yeah,
year.
they put out, so
Or last year.
Fucks with
And
it.
still.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. All right, I'm gonna run with my top 5, and this is just across all music. All right, I'm gonna start off with her. She's an R&B artist, great girl, love her. I am falling more in love with her every day. Her music is incredible.
Yes.
She is super talented.
Her live
Number
amazing.
2, Cardi B, of course. Homegirl is killing it.
Cardi, yeah,
Meek. Number 3, man, because I just love seeing that man win, man. He came back with a vengeance and just a lot of love.
Humble vengeance.
Yes. Number 4. Number 4.
Yeah.
69. I'm gonna go with 69.
Who's that?
Tekashi,
Tekashi
bro.
69.
What
I've
you
never
mean?
heard nobody say
69?
69.
Six.
My
I thought that was a
69.
position.
Whoa,
Bro, I was like,
That
what
sounded
is
so
it?
weird.
This
That sounded so
podcast
69,
after dark.
man.
I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on? Like,
Tekashi.
69.
And then my number 5.
Who's
man.
Tekashi? That a
Tekashi
sauce?
69.
Oh my god, this is
Rainbow
Oh, sorry.
he's a
Number
samurai.
5. I'm
With
gonna
the
give it to Travis, man. I feel like Travis had a stupid, crazy, big
It's
year.
lit.
He did. And then my 6th man, I'm gonna give it to 21. I really like how he just dominated on every angle he could. He took every opportunity. He did everything he could and sounded amazing. And it's just bringing a lot of heat to the game. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Did you put
my
Drake
top
in
5.
there?
Cardi?
I was just trying to put. I was trying to put like just overall
said
like
Cardi
hands
or
everywhere.
not
I mean,
Cardi?
Drake, of
Cardi?
course, is Drake.
Yeah, we said Cardi. You don't think Cardi was a top 5 artist?
Cardi with Cardi. Cardi.
He just
Slow
walked
up the
off.
window with a Cardi.
He just walked
Yo.
off.
Yo, no, she deserved that. She
Signing
deserved
out
that.
Chris,
She
she
deserved
gotta
that.
get some
Yo,
credit, yo.
OliverWise, come back. Listen, now we're about to move on to something that I'm really interested in talking. Wait, chill. Let's talk about the state of the culture, bro. Like right now, where are we? How do you guys
I love
feel?
you, Cardi. I was just joking around.
How do you guys feel about, what we're going into 2019? There's a lot of people that are expecting a lot of things, and I'd like to hear what you want. Looking forward to 2019. We can also talk about that. So kind of mix the state of the culture, and then what you guys are looking into as 2019 comes and continues to go out throughout the year. What are you guys expecting? Someone said something earlier. I'm just waiting.
I honestly just feel like I'm already starting to notice the culture as far as what we do. It's slowing down, and I'm really loving it because I don't know about y'all, but since January the 1st, I think the only album that's dropped was Future's.
Top of the year, possibly.
But
Yeah.
that's the only one that's dropped. Every other Friday last year, there was 2 albums dropping. Every Friday. No, I'm talking not at the end of the year. All year last year. There's been so much music last year that you just tend to forget. Like, it got so fickle. Like, that Eminem CD felt like it was already a whole year ago, but it wasn't a whole year ago.
True.
Like, it's just so fast now. The microwave era. It's just they cooking up so fast in the microwave. I want them to take their time with their craft.
Yeah.
And I'm like starting to. I'm hoping that
I feel
they
like
could
we're
all
gonna
just
have
wait
that.
to eat.
Yeah.
As
We're
far
gonna
as the
slow
music
down.
go. Yeah, slow it down. Let us get into this groove back to the way we should be, the way that we used to be, with people actually taking the time with their projects. Because it seems like everybody was just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And I blame Future for dropping 6 projects in 1 year. Because he started that. He started that craziness. But there was just a lot of music overload. A lot of new acts, as well as the old acts and the still relevant acts that just kept coming and coming and coming, and I couldn't keep up with it. So I just hope that they give us the chance as the listeners and the audience and the cultures to just slow it down, work on the craft, be easy, and just deliver greatness.
No,
All right.
respect.
So I have a different perspective on things. I actually like the pace of music how it was last year. I actually want to go a bit quicker. Well, I mean, want more of it, in a sense of, I feel like a lot of people are on other people's records, so that's what it made it seem like it was a lot at one time. But honestly, I feel like if an artist comes out with a song and then, like 2 weeks later, then it's a music video, then it's like 2 months later, 3 months later, it's another single or album, and that kind of vibe, I'm cool with that. Like, I like to say the culture, like, create music. If you get a freestyle and you feel like, what, I want the world to hear it, release it. Release it. Get your thoughts and your feelings, or however you want to call it, across, and in your music, let us hear it. Because you might be sitting on a gym and you don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait until this happens, and then you might come against a bigger artist and you got to compete. I mean, when you feel like it's your time to release, listen to that feeling, release it, and let that thing flow, and just see how people are accepting it, and then buzz singles, that's what those music are here for. Like, people our generation likes new content. Like, we get things get old to us real quick. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. I can see I can see both sides of that coin, of that being a good thing and bad thing. But like the culture right now, is create music that feels good, bops, hits, and then you got like those artists in their own arena that curate music, for I want to express to you how my year is going or how I'm feeling inside, what my mind is thinking, and we got those different kind of things, and I feel like sometimes we get it confused as we compare the artists in the two. Like I like what Lil Baby said in his interview with the Breakfast Club. He said, "I'm not out here trying to be the best rapper alive. But we're trying to create great music people can vibe to, that people can like feel good to." And I respect that. When he said that, I was like, wow. I said that makes a lot of sense. He not here trying to battle rap nobody. Like that's not his arena. That's not his field. That's what he's trying to do. He knows there's other rappers that are better than him out there. He's not trying to compete with nobody else. He's trying to make this money and do his thing. But that's my tangent on things.
Hey,
what you got for us, Luck?
Hey man, everybody pretty much a conglomerate of both what you and Jordan said, but for me, just for the culture to create good music, understand that evolution is gonna happen. Things are gonna change. Like music is way different than it was even them 5 years ago. Exactly. Yeah. So, it's changed. It's constantly changes, constantly new sounds. And you got, different people. You got Blueface, I just say, understand where it's coming from, because if you don't allow, different things to come into the culture, you're not going to, get those gems, and you're not going to, push forward in hip hop or push forward in music. That's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. I really do. I think we're in a good space right now. I definitely would like to see artists take the way they market their music a little bit better. I think a lot of artists, and I get it, man, they got a lot of music, but they're throwing too many records on albums, and we don't have time for that. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but I think what ends up happening is, a lot of those records could have been held off for something else, and you try to give too much, and then everybody then wants a break from you, rather than, you drop 10 records, 12 records, you keep it at that. People are going to want, and, Drake's pretty good at that. There's other artists that are really good at that, but it's just finding that formula. The other thing is I really like the spread of love that I think we've had in music, where a lot of people are sharing. A lot of these OGs are kind of opening up the doors for the young cats, and there's a lot of collabs going on right now, and I think that's a great thing. I think we're finally, breaking down that wall. And then this one's kind of just a little side note, but I definitely hope and pray that this year we finally get a Rick Ross album. And I know Jordan said that earlier.
Yep.
But I hope we definitely get that. Rick, if you're listening, please, bro.
We miss you. We miss you, man.
Let's get it.
Drop that heat. These young
everything's good. Everything's good with him and Drake too, man. There's no better collab, man, than those two, bro. Those two drop, man. They got classics. Exactly.
Hey, so Lord knows.
We're not talking about that Meek freestyle though. That Meek freestyle. That shit. That one beat, that Drake beat, that shit was fire.
We got to hurry up and get this out the way before it slips my mind, because I'm pretty sure we all feel the same way about this. I just think the Cast and Crew podcast should definitely wish the late Mac Miller a happy birthday. Today would have been his 27th birthday. Gone way too early, and once again, prayers to his family as well as friends. I know that this is probably a tough day for them. I just wanted to get that side note out real quick, and prayers to his family, and we ain't forget you, my man. We ain't forget you.
Most definitely.
27 today.
Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it. That wraps it up. Episode 3, the Cast and Crew, baby. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Glad we were able to finally all sit down together, man. It's been some time. It's been some time.
Everything is love.
Nice.
All right, boys. Peace.
Perfect.